Back here in the U.S., millions put aside terrorism fears to enjoy the 4th of July. Colorado celebrated Independence Day with a patriotic flair. Hundreds were on hand for the Greeley Independence Stampede Parade, which is billed...
Well, from that you'll gather it is the 4th of July. We made it into Sierra City yesterday on the 3rd. We had a camp because all the rooms were full.
The 2002 Philadelphia Liberty Medal.
And today there is no parade. It's actually a very quiet place. I think it must be just kind of like either a family thing. We had heard that a town 12 miles from here, Downieville, was having some sort of a parade going on, but we'd have to hitch down there and hitch back. After walking 25 plus miles a day for the last week, you just want to just lounge around. Well, two hikers, John and Julie, did actually get a room, so there's about 6 of us crashed out in their room and just sitting around, and we're spending the 4th of July watching TV. Our Pacific Crest Trail hike is about to enter Northern California. It's 2002, a time which many hikers now consider to be a classic era on the Pacific Crest Trail. I'm Simon Willis, and I'm hiking with my girlfriend Liz. TarpTent.com is supporting this podcast series that's made from recordings that had been lost for 20 years. It's Thursday the 4th of July at 9 p.m, and we've hiked out of Sierra City to the Sierra Buttes. After 3.5 months and more than 1,000 miles of hiking, the trail is taking a mental toll.
No, I just fancied a couple of days away from the trail, maybe. Being in a town, not walking, not being near other hikers, just not being a hiker for a couple of days, just being a normal person in a town.
I mean, is that because you're fed up with this, or...?
No, it's just that I just feel I need a change just for a couple of days. Maybe to kind of recharge in a way and appreciate it all a bit more. I think maybe we're kind of taking it all a bit for granted sometimes.
So we've said that we've gone belting past waterfalls and gone, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
And if it had been round the corner, we'd have been going there a couple of days and camping out and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, no matter what you love doing, what you love, you don't want to do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You need a break from it.
Yeah,
we have been a bit.
Because we've been going into town, like the one we've just been through.
Yesterday we arrived and we're out again today.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't really had a day when we've not walked.
But do you feel... I feel as if we rested fairly well there.
Yeah.
Physically. But I know what you mean. It's more... It's more almost a mental switch off, that we're not packing boxes, we're not buying food, we're not sorting food for the next time, we're not going to laundrette, because it's almost a routine. Well, it is a routine.
Yeah, you just want a day to lie in bed and do nothing but watch TV, a day when you don't have to do anything. A day to get bored in, really.
Well, I suppose that's what John and Julie have been doing for the rest of the day. They're the people who had the room that we were vegging out in this morning. Okay, well... Thank you.
Sunday, 7th of July. We decided against hiking through to our next resupply box in Belden, and where the trail crossed a road, we hitchhiked out to the town of Quincy. And this is what through hiking is all about. As soon as you hit town, you come to a place like this. This is a laundromat. And this is the other place we come. This is the supermarket. What we got?
We've got some fruit, we've got some apricots, some peaches and some figs.
With the chores done, we found a motel, and I am going to relax while Liz finds a payphone to call home. We've had bad news from home. I encouraged her to ring home to speak to her mum, and she was asking her how's her sister. Her sister is seriously ill. Her cancer has returned. She is getting treatment. We don't yet have a prognosis. Should we go back? I counselled against it, simply from the point of view that we can't do anything. From what we're gathering, I mean, she's getting the best attention, but from what we're gathering, it might even make her feel as if she hasn't been told everything, and it's actually worse than she's been told. We're only really away for another 3 months, and so that shouldn't make too much of a difference, you'd have thought. A cloud has come into this red-hot blue Sierra sky, a very black cloud.
suspect it's going to follow us for the rest of this trip. It might even stop the trip, but it hasn't done that just yet.
Thursday, 11th July. We're still on the trail, for now at least. Today we resupplied in Belden and walked into Northern California. This was one of the toughest, hottest days so far.
When we were in Quincy, the weather had actually become the main news story because they were forecasting and then received record high temperatures in the valley, around 107 degrees. So it was going to be cooler up here, but not that much. In fact, I was speaking to a guy this morning who said it did touch 107 where he was working. I mean, I've been walking in shorts for months now, and my legs are fairly much toughened to the sun, but I can actually feel my legs burning today. I have to put long trousers on. And the humidity, as Liz says, it just pours out of you. It's coming out your armpits, your arms, your chest, back, face is just soaking wet.
But luckily we did have water on the way.
Now, that was the blessing of the route, wasn't it?
Could cool down sometimes.
It's Saturday, the 13th of July, and that yawn was Liz showing her contentment. Some things are just meant to be. We are lying in a hammock. We are in one of the most perfect valleys in Lassen National Park, and we are in a highly exclusive guest ranch called the Drakesbad Guest Ranch. There is a 1-year waiting list to get a place in here. And when we were coming down the hill, we were looking at this place and we were thinking, oh gosh, that looks awfully upscale. We don't want to see two smelly, sweaty, dirty hikers down there. We nearly didn't come in, but we thought, oh no, we will. We'll see if we can get some food.
And that was when the trail magic happened. Moments earlier, they'd had a room cancellation, so offered it to us with all our food at less than half price. A cosy room in this historic timber building, owned by the National Park Service and managed by Ed, who showed me around in his buggy.
You must have been very aware you were inheriting a piece of history almost when you took on, the running of this place, were you?
This is amazing, the history in this place. It actually goes back to the 1860s.
Yeah.
When they homesteaded it. And they built a little lodge right here. More or less a cabin.
Mm-hmm.
And used it for a summer cabin. And in later years they converted it into guest facilities. And the dining room, as you could see in the album, was just a frame with canvas over it.
And this place they built, but it was knocked down in 38 with a big snowfall, wasn't it?
By massive snow. And
they built this thing in 9 days.
In 9 days. It was a community effort. The whole community from Susanville and Chester and surrounding area came up. They all chipped in and they built it up in 9 days. It's amazing. One family came in here yesterday and they've been coming here for 50 years. When they were young girls, the grandma, they worked here as a wrangler. And
almost the reservations seem to get handed down through the generations.
That's about it, yeah. One generation brings the other one back in here, and so it's a continuous chain of clientele coming in. The good thing is that we have a limitation too.
Yeah.
So we don't overcrowd the place and make it tacky and commercialized.
We're back on the trail. Our next resupply point is Old Station, which is apparently just a resort, though you never know these things till you get there. And that is something like 23 miles away. We could do it today, but what we'll do is, it being a Sunday, we'll aim to camp just outside Old Station somewhere, go in there in the morning, get to the post office, get our food resupply box, sort everything out, stick it in our backpacks and go, because we've had all our relaxation
yesterday, last night and what have you, and I don't think it could have got better than Drake's Bad Guest Ranch. Gosh, weren't we lucky. It's Monday the 15th of July. I don't really know why I'm still recording. A lot has happened very quickly. It's 5 o'clock in the evening and we're in the town of Reading at the local airport because it looks like we're going home.
And assist us in preparing the cabin for takeoff and making sure that your carry-on items are put away, your tray table is stowed, and your seat backs in a full upright position.
This is a final call now for any Heathrow ground staff to please leave the aircraft. All Heathrow ground staff now please disembark in preparation for departure.
It's 3 weeks since I made that last recording. 4 days after we returned home, Liz's sister passed away.
It's Tuesday the 6th of August and I'm heading back across the Atlantic, but this time I'm by myself. Liz will be joining me again, but not for another 17 days. I should get back onto the Pacific Crest Trail tomorrow because I've decided I am going to try to finish this thing. I have none of the enthusiasm for it, neither does Liz, that we had at the start, but you know, it's something we just want to do and I just don't feel like going back to work and now we just want to get there and we want to just do this thing.
It's Saturday the 10th of August. This is my 4th day out by myself. And I can honestly say I'm not really enjoying this. You know, I got used to the PCT with Liz. It's not that I miss company. I'm quite happy hiking by myself. But I really miss her. In all sorts of ways, in practical ways, like when there's another person needed help with navigation, I find I'm focusing constantly on navigation, how far between places. Or for example, it's 11:15 now. It's 3.2 miles to the next water source. I know it takes me an hour and a quarter to do 3 miles, so that's just over an hour and a quarter, so that's 11:30, 12:30, just after 12:30. We're going to be there. And I have to carry enough water to make sure I get there okay. But I'm doing all that, so my brain is constantly doing that kind of thing, constantly thinking ahead to the next resupply point, how I'm going to work the logistics there. It's not my lover to distract me, you know, the person with whom we're planning on where we're going to buy a house when we get back to Glasgow. I've been getting up, I can't sleep without her either, I've been getting up ridiculously early. Before 4 this morning, and this is feeling a bit like a route march. I think it's possibly because we took 3 weeks out. The fact we started early and were fast gave us the opportunity to do that. Even when Liz joins me again, we're going to be in a rush. We're going to be in a rush to finish in time to get home, to come back to work. We're going to be in a rush to stay ahead of the winter weather in Washington. And I have to say, I think that's going to detract mightily from the quality of this trip. It's Thursday the 15th of August and I am in a camp like no other. This camp belongs to the California Conservation Corps, people who actually improve and maintain the trails on which we've been walking from Mexico to Canada.
It was a really, really baking hot day. And I rounded a corner in a trail, and there were some guys working. Now, we've seen them before because they have quite distinctive uniforms because they are employees of the state of California. They look very heavy to work in, their brown trousers and their short-sleeve shirts. All of them were saying, "Oh, just go call into our camp. It's easier than drawing water. We've got filtered water there. Just go in. Call in. Oh, I would like to see it," all that kind of stuff. And there's a couple of signs up there going, "Peaceful hikers, come this way." So I did. I've been given a couple of apples, which was delicious. I'm invited to stay to dinner. I've had my own dinner. And they've got an amazing setup here. 2 fire rings are going. On one, they're heating water for washing up, but Jose's tending that. He's been left behind here. The other fire ring, I think they're going to cook on. And Ellen has the most incredible kitchen arrangement here. Ellen, how can I describe your kitchen? I'm starting off trying to do a word picture here of what you've got. First of all, better say hello to who this is. Who's this?
Can you say hello?
What's your name?
We've been practicing. Glad to meet you.
No.
Oh, you're going to be too shy.
Anyway, who is she?
Trinity.
Oh, Trinity. Named for the mountain range?
Named for the mountains.
Okay. This tent looks like it was vintage World War One, but it looks like it still serves a good job.
We get them from the, the army.
And you do this every year?
Actually, I was the packer. I was always the one who brought the food in on the mules. And before that, I was the one who worked out on the trail with them.
And how long are you here in the woods cooking like this, in this spot?
We'll be in this spot. We came the 3rd week in July, and we'll leave the middle of September.
I've seen people like this on the trail when I've been walking, and I'm not too sure how people come to do this. Could you explain the setup for me?
This crew in particular, I mean, there's many different kinds of trail crews that you'll run into, but this crew in particular is part of the Backcountry Conservation Corps program, and it's a little branch off of this larger program that's called the California Conservation Corps. Oh, are you writing on yourself? It's really aimed at building job skills among kind of the young. I think they target 18 to 23-year-olds who are coming out of places where they haven't gotten much in the way of job skills, and for whatever reason they haven't really entered a workforce. And their areas of training are typically, they have a big fire program for wildland firefighting. They have some sort of energy conservation work. It's all mostly conservation work. So this is just a branch. This is teaching them trail skills as well as living in a community. But you're saying you can get quite a contrast of backgrounds of young people who are here. Yeah, which makes the whole community part the most interesting. Yeah. We also have a bunch of folks that come through AmeriCorps, so they literally just found this on the internet somewhere, emailed off an application and got an acceptance and a plane ticket in the mail, and then here they show up, and they could be from, we have people from the East Coast. And so you get East Coast, I can't say it. Yeah. Thank you. Can you tell me how to say that? That was very good, Trinity. So you can have East Coast college kids working alongside kids from completely different backgrounds. You just missed a friend of mine. Hey, I see the people coming. You should run out and see them, lady. And is this dinner time? Is it 4:30? Is it time to eat? No, we have another hour before feeding. Okay, hey, Jose, tell me something. Yeah. What is it about this backcountry thing you like? Because you grew up in somewhere nowhere like this, yeah?
I'm a city area. From here, it's like totally different. I had to deal with people 24 hours a day. Their bad days, your good days, their bad days, vice versa. It's good. You get to meet people from different part of the country, different part of California that you would never be able. Plus, the travel is free. So,
and the scenery.
The scenery. I'm used to seeing like big buildings downtown LA, skyscrapers. Now I'm like seeing Ponderosas, Ensign Cedars, Doug Fir. Before I even came here, I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know about the Klamath, didn't know about the rivers, didn't know too much about the nature, how to preserve it.
Whoa, everyone's arriving. Better go.
What, sneaks?
Man, y'all look dirty.
Hi. Hey, how are you? I got the apple. You're right. The apple was fantastic. Thank you for suggesting that.
Dang.
Would you ever get out to this sort of place before, do you think, if you hadn't been for this?
Would I ever? Or do you think for one, it'd be the expense. It'd be the expense, the time you have to take out. It's like a vacation. But
the work's hard, yeah?
Yeah, but it works hard, but, it makes you stronger. Make you a stronger person in anything you do. If you can get past this, you can do a lot. You can do a lot, you know what I mean?
I knew nothing about trails, and I like doing things that I have no idea what, like this is a whole world that I had no idea about, and I wanted to be a part of that world.
And learn some skill.
Yeah, there's like a whole culture of people that do trail work and do this kind of thing, and especially in the Klamath Trinity area, like it's so small, everybody knows each other. So this is like really, I think compared to other places, like this community is like it's a whole little world that you come into. Everyone knows each other.
But what's your background? Would you go on to do this, do you think?
I would like to do it for another season. I wouldn't want to do this program again because it's too hard staying, not being able to like talk to your family or whatever, but I'd want to do like a trail season because they're allowed to get out into town and use the phone and things like that.
So that was my introduction to the California Conservation Corps. They seem a very friendly bunch. I'm going to hang around for a little while. I'm not going to spend the night here because they've obviously got their own community going. But, you see all this work done on the trails, and it's not very often you get a chance to turn around to the people who did it and say thank you. It's Saturday the 17th of August and I'm walking along on the side of Highway 93 heading for the small little community of Sayad Valley. Sayad Valley is special for two reasons. First of all, it lies at 1,657 miles on this 2,658 mile trail, and it's also home to the Sayad Valley Pancake Challenge, whereby the guy in the cafe there will give you your pancake breakfast free if you can finish it all. But of course he decides how many pancakes and how thick they are. And we're not talking little crepes, apparently, we are talking things the size of discus. Well, I've just polished off breakfast. Not pancakes. Rick, who runs this place, has just been looking through the trail register, and I reckon about 270 people started. How many did you say got through? 110.
Well, about 110 different signatures.
Yeah. That's quite a dropout rate. You don't think this is as many as previous years?
No, it's not in here anyway.
Right, now, pancakes.
The pancake challenge is 5 pancakes consisting of 12 ounces of liquid batter.
12 ounces?
Of liquid batter.
And
overall weight's probably about 4.5 pounds after cooking.
God, 4.5 pounds of food.
I was beaten by Kyle Pushpin out of Kentucky. Was the first one to beat me this year. Last year I was beaten 3 times. All told, 7 people in 18 years.
Is it good for business having something like
this?
It's
great for business. It really flocks into people to watch these individuals try the challenge.
Yeah? Do they have to announce that they're going to take part at a certain time and you get
No, they just walk in and say they want to do it.
Yeah?
And no female has ever done it.
Yeah. Why do you think it's so hard?
Bulk. Trying to put 5 pounds in a 3-pound sack doesn't work too often.
What's the secret? I mean, for success, what are the people who have done it have had in common? 7 and 18 years.
Big eaters. Most of them have been tall and skinny.
Really? They're not the sort of people who you'd expect to be able to put away the pancake?
No, they're all tall and skinny. 17 or 18 have tried it this year.
You can't tell in advance who's going to do it, can you, when you see them?
Yeah, sometimes I can see, sometimes I refuse to cook it.
That's great. Well, I enjoyed my breakfast, and now I'm going to find a place to stay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
My hike started 4 months ago, and here in Sayad Valley, I'm still in California. In a few days, though, I'll cross into Oregon, which is meant to have the flattest, fastest hiking on the PCT. Better yet, Liz will be joining me again for the race to finish our hike in Canada before winter blows in. My thanks to TarpTent.com for their support with this series and our hike. If you're enjoying this, perhaps you'll buy me a virtual coffee, just a small payment to put towards hosting costs. And if you'd like to read our 2002 Trail Journal, day by day on the Pacific Crest Trail, please head to pctpodcast.com, where there's a Kindle and other e-reader download for sale. There are links in the show notes. I'm Simon Willis. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.